Welcome to Shorty Super Coach. We've been smashing out the previews, but I thought I'd take a bit of a different angle today. Three blokes who averaged over 100 last year that I won't be even giving a sniff. I think we should definitely not pick them. I haven't gone for just the obvious ones because, of course, there's some guys that averaged over 100 that, of course, we wouldn't start with, even though they had great years. I want to pick a few guys that I've seen discussed or at least in quite a few teams. Particularly one fella who I'll talk about in a minute, who seems to be all the rage, and I couldn't be less about him. But we'll be back with the previews pretty soon, and I want to just give a shout out to Jono as well. He knows who he is. He's one of my biggest fans, probably my biggest. He helps me out with a few bits and pieces. He likes to message through, and I know him from the old Ballarat days, so just a bit of a shout out, mate. But who's the first guy who averaged over 100 last year that we shouldn't even think about? Matthew Rowley. Controversial first up topic from Shorty, but am I going nuts here? Am I going crazy? Why do people think he's a good selection? Okay, he was dominating before he got injured. Okay, that then allows him to be a little bit cheaper because he didn't play too many games. Averaged 102, but he had that, I think it was about 8 points against the Cats. He had a 170, a 140, a 114. Yeah, it was amazing. But do you really think he can replicate that? This bloke's played, 4 or 5 games? He's in his second year. And what are you expecting him to average? Are you hoping to keep him all year? Are you expecting him to average 105 plus? It's nuts. Teams will do their homework on him. Last year he came in, they didn't know stacks about him, and they would have never ever thought that a youngster could do something like that. They'll be doing far more homework on him. He may even cop a tag. You just never know. So much more pressure and expectation. And it was an unbelievable hot streak. Just to think that a young man could then replicate that. He kicked 2 goals in every game that he turned up. The Gold Coast Suns won them all. I mean, come on. Am I missing something here? We can't start the guy, can we? If he comes out and scores 2 140s the first couple of weeks, all right, you can come and headhunt me then, and maybe we'll just trade him into our sides. But we cannot start this guy. I don't see the point. Like, you're not picking him to make money, are you? Because I see him in a lot of sides, and we just don't see many blokes. And you might argue the case, hey, this guy's 1 in a million. He's going to break all the trends and everything that we've seen before, but you'd be brave. I just don't see it working. I just don't see the consistency happening. I'd be shocked if clubs didn't pay him a hell of a lot more attention. And I still think Gold Coast are going to be a struggling side. So it's a massive no from me to start with him. There really is. But he seems popular. He won't be getting anywhere near my side, I'll tell you that much. Second bloke, and this guy averaged more than 115. Christian Petracca. Huge season last year. I think he went from about an average of 80 up to about 117. Finally got those midfield minutes, just dominant, damaging, won the inside ball, kicked the goals. He did everything that we thought he could for many years and finally delivered. But I think we're now paying absolute top dollar, like massive money, for a guy who's only done it once. And I just think, I haven't seen him in many teams, to be fair, but I just thought, there's not too many guys that average 117, which you say don't even think about, you know what I mean? I just think the fact that it's always a little risky to pick a guy after he's broken out. I just think, for me anyway, paying that much money, you like to have seen them do it time and time again, just to give you that confidence. You're either picking a guy because you think you can make your money, or he can explode like Petracca did, or someone that you can just bank on time and time again. So he'll, a bit like Raul, he'll get more attention. Clubs will go to work on him, and we might look back and say that was Christian Petracca's best year of football of his life. He may never reach those heights again. He may. He might go on to average 110 plus for the next 4 years. I don't know. But to start with him would be gutsy and wouldn't be something that I would advise. And the third guy, again, haven't seen him in a stack of sides, but a bit of discussion. And he seems to be one that people warm to in Supercoach, but I don't think the numbers actually add up. And that's Ben Cunningham. Now, he only played a few games last year, got injured, so of course his price He's a bit lower. And he did score, I think, first round that he played 185. Now, obviously, he did get injured and tapered off with, I think, about a 70 and a 50. Brings his average to like 102, but that's the highest he's ever done. He's never averaged more than 102. I think last year was 102.3. All right, maybe we'll pay that. But he's never really gone beyond that. And I feel like in the Supercoach world, we like respect him because he's like a contested ball beast, wins it on the inside. And I feel like that discount might just tempt some people, but it's a massive no from me. Ironically, the fact that he does win the hard ball, he actually can't handle a tag, which is a bit random. I mean, normally those sort of guys handle the tag better than the more outside types. But I think there's a lot to like about the North Melbourne midfield, but I don't think picking Cunnington is the first place to go. I mean, I'm really excited by Jai Simpkin. There's a little bit of the Christian Petraccas about it. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to average 115 plus, but I think he averaged 93, and I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I expect it to definitely go into the hundreds, and we'll see from there. And Davies Uniacke, one of my absolute faves, so I expect a massive rise from him as well. But I think there's some youngsters in that North Melbourne lineup we should definitely look at. But the warhorse of Cunnington, inside bull, yeah, he's a bit cheaper, yeah, he can go big, but ultimately he's never been able to do it consistently over a season. In terms of premium numbers, I mean, he's averaged between like 95 and 102 for years, which is pretty respectable. But in terms of a premium that we're picking to average like at least 107, 108, no thanks. So there you go, 3 blokes. Had great years, have had great years previously as well. Shouldn't be in your side for 2021. So I'll be back to take a look at who have I got next. I think it's Gold Coast, I believe. So I'll hopefully get to that over the weekend or early next week. So thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.